Welcome back, everybody. How are you all doing? I'm excited because I've been waiting to make this video. Man, this one product has put so many other videos on hold. The studio tour video, the guitar collection, the amp collection video, all those videos have been put on hold because I was waiting till I could make this video finally. So a while back, I started hunting for an amp switcher because a lot of guys are asking me like, why don't you use your amps more, all that stuff. And the honest answer was, it was such a hassle to hook up a different amp. Like if I had the orange hooked up and I wanted to use the Friedman, I had to climb back there, unhook everything, try to hook up the other one. So if you're a person with, you know, multiple tube amps, this is the video for you, because I bet you can relate to, like, you're recording and you're like, oh man, I want that orange, I want that. Alright, so I'm talking about this thing right here. This is from KHE Audio. It is the ACS 4x4 effects loop. Now I'm a little bit rusty because I have not done any demos or product videos in, I don't even know how long, maybe last year or sometime. Don't know. But, you know, this thing is incredible. Like I said, let me just Reader's Digest it for you real quick, and I'll tell you why it was such a game changer. 4 amps, 4 cabinets, 4 effects loops, 1 space unit. A 1 space rack unit. Man, was that a key thing. So I'm going to break it all down here and tell you all about the awesome that is this thing. Alright, let's go. I was about to get a different amp switcher, but the issue was it was a 2 space rack unit. Now what I wanted was a little bit more specific. I wanted a 4 amp switcher with 4 effects loops that could go to 4 cabinets. And like I said, and I found different ones, but either they would have that, but it'd be a 2 space unit, or they would do 8 amps and 4 cabinets, but no effects loops, or you needed the daisy chain, all this kind of stuff. So I found KHE, and I was going to get their one that was 8 amps into 4 cabs and no effects loop. I finally just kind of like threw in the towel. And I messaged Marcus about it over there, and I was talking to him, and he's like, well, I'm actually developing a single space unit that does 4 amps, 4 cabs, and 4 individual effects loops. And I'll tell you why I had to have the effects loops here in a second. I'm like, dude, incredible. Where do I get it? You know, he's like, I'm still developing it. It's not ready yet. So like, this was like almost a year ago, I think. Finally, you know, a few months back, Marcus was like, hey, I got them. I got the first couple of them in. You know, it's on the way, but you can't post anything about it yet till I actually have physical products. That way, if people buy them, I have them. I'm like, okay, that's cool, man. So I think normal people like you and me don't really, you know, grasp how much work goes into creating a new product like this and launching it and doing all that stuff. So I'm blown away with this thing. It is literally built like a tank. It does everything I wanted to do, and for recording, like I said, normally I'm facing the other way, it has made just, I don't know, recording so streamlined, because right now I have the Friedman. So you can see my amps back here. I got the Friedman, the Rev Dynamis, the orange, and behind me is a Rev, I'm sorry, that's a Rev generator. Behind me is the Rev Dynamis, which is my clean tones and all that stuff. So when I'm recording, like the track that you just heard, you know, I have the riff, and I'm like, okay. Okay, so I had that riff, and I'm like, all right, cool, cool, cool. And I had that going down, and then all of a sudden, I was like, all right, I need another guitar and another amp. Now, normally, to do that little switch, it's kind of like the moment's gone. You've already missed it. And now, I was just like, okay, cool. You know what? I'm going to switch to the orange. I want a whole different sound to it. So, you know, I switch guitars and switch amps, which there's something special about when you're tracking 2 guitars with 2 different amps. It really makes all the difference. So then, like I said, I had the orange going. But listen to something here real quick. Okay, so let me explain the effects loops a little bit, because this was literally one of the key defining points of this whole operation here for me, is I have all the effects loops from all of my amps running into the amp switcher. And it has, inside it, a master effects loop. So I can run effects into the, like if I had a pedal board, or I could run my HX effects, or I could even 4-cable the ACS effects into the switcher if I wanted to, and I can have all those effects in all 4 amps at any given time. So that, to me, just like blew my mind. So like I said, so I was like switching in, and then I went to the orange, which I have a reverb pedal on in the effects loop for all my amps. There's so much reverb now. And I was like, oh shoot, yeah, I forgot. So I know that on the orange, which is number 3, it's my 3rd amp, I can turn the effects loop off, and it remembers that I don't want the effects loop on for that amp. So again, I didn't know it would remember it. And I was like, oh man, when I switch back to it, it's just going to be an on-off thing. So no, it remembers it. So then I tracked the 2nd guitar. Second guitar, 2nd amp. And then I'm like, okay. Then the intro part had clean sections to it. So that was real easy. I went to number 4, which now the effects loop is back on. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to go like this. And then I just kind of followed the chords. It was all I did. I went. And it was all clean. I had a lot more reverb, and I don't have a delay on right now. But it was just like, boom. I was like, switch, 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 switch. And I still use the Axe effects a lot by itself too, because like I said, it makes it easy. If you notice, some of my cables have tape on them. It's so I know, like, okay, that cable goes to the amps, that cable goes to the Axe effects. So, and then the next thing was I needed to get a lead tone out of it. So, you know, back to the orange, I want the effects loop on. It just, like I said, it all just takes a matter of seconds. This up. Now, for the main lead tones in there, I actually used the Axe effects for that. So I used all the amps to record all the rhythm guitar and backing guitars, and then for the leads, I just have a patch dialed in that I like, and that's literally as easy as unplugging the guitar, plugging into the next one. So if you're a person who has 2, 3, 4 amps, however many you have, I'm telling you, look into these amp switchers. It has been incredible, because I even have a pedal board that I want to use. I'm not using it today, but then I have the effects. Like I said, I can go into all of my amps, all of your effects loop amp, or effects loop effects, it's hard to say, can go in there and just do their own thing, and you can run into the front. So I had pedals running, and you'll see when I do my amp video, pedals into the front, effects loop into the back. It's amazing to have all this flexibility. And like I said, you just switch guitars. Boom. I'm like, okay, what's the next part? Okay, solo. If you're the person who doesn't want to switch guitars, you can just sit there and switch amps and still get different tones out of it. Because like I said, that is, what am I using right now? I'm using the orange. So now listen to if I go to the Friedman, My high gain sound is the rev generator, which is number 2. So I would have that one on. And I could easily turn I'm like, no, I want to, I'm tracking guitars for someone, for a song. And they're like, hey, all the guitars have to be dry. Boom. Turn the effects loop off. Even though it hurts my soul to play without reverb on it, I could do it real quick. Now the final thing I'm going to show you that this thing has gotten me in trouble a couple times with my family is that it controls 4 different amp cabinets. So the first one I have right here is going into my 2 Notes Torpedo Live, which is it's digitally emulating different amp cabinets and speakers. So I have that going on for number 1. Now I have 2 live cabs in the room. You can maybe see one here behind me. I have a Friedman 2x12 and a Rev 2x12. Sometimes I mess up and I turn the live cab on in the room. And one thing about using the 2 Notes is that you can have your amps set really loud. So I have all of my amps, they're 50 watt amps, all this kind of stuff. I have them all set at around 6 or 7. So in a live cab, they're crazy loud. So it's one, you've been in the music store and you like turn an amp on and someone turned it on 10 and it scares you. Yeah, it's happened a few times, and I quickly get a text from my wife. It's like, hey, too loud. I'm like, oh yeah, I know. But it's gotten me like really loving playing live cabs again, because to do that I do go over there and turn the volume down. Alright, and one super important thing that this amp does that, it's crucial, make sure any amp switcher does this, regardless of which one you get, is that it safely loads down the amps. Now, if you look at the cabinet selector, there's 4 different cabinets, and I only have 3 options. I have my 2 notes, and then 2 live cabs in the room. And you see how they're like dimly lit up. Now, when they're bright, that's when they're selected. If it's not lit up at all, that means that there's nothing there, it's not safe, and the switcher literally won't even let you, go to that one, which is a lifesaver, because I'm telling you what, you run a tube amp for a long time and then try to like switch to something and play it and there's no load, it's just gonna ruin your amp. So this thing safely loads down all of your amps, and it won't even let you switch to an amp that's not there or a cabinet that's not there, or like I said, it detects it. So even if there was an issue with your cabinet, this has a detector that allows you to make sure that it's a safe load for the amp. And if you're considering getting one of these, just make sure you check out the links below it. There's screenshots of everything, of the back of it. There's lots of different ways to connect it. You can daisy chain it together. I'm not going to go through every single nitty-gritty detail of it, but if you're looking into one, make sure look into it, do your research just like I did, and that way you can find the right one for you. You guys have it. That is the KHE 4x4 effects loop. So again, this has been literally like a game-changing kind of product. I think it's hard sometimes to like look at a product that doesn't make sound. Like I said, itself, if you plug into it, it doesn't do anything. Once you hook up the amps to it and you realize just how much better life has gotten, that way you don't have to keep climbing back there and moving stuff and pinching your fingers and all that stuff to try to get to the amps. Oh man, I highly, highly recommend. Marcus was great to deal with. He's super, super nice. And like I said, I've had mine for months now, and no issues at all the whole time. So, just be prepared if you, get it. There's a lot of cables involved. That's one warning sign, is that, you're going to have to invest in some good cables and a lot of them. So let's just go ahead and wrap it up then. I'll play some rhythm for you. How about that? Let's go to the, I was really liking the orange a lot. Yeah, we'll do the orange. I'll play some rhythm for you out of here, and just, have a good rest of your day. So later, guys.